Welcome back to Professor Siege Captain ranking every siege weapon throughout history. In today's installment of the tier list, we're ranking the Siege Shield. Today's siege device aids in answering the question, how do we approach the enemy walls without getting our soldiers killed?
Professor Siege Captain, what is there even to learn? This is just a shield.
Oh, my naive pupils, you have a lot to learn about the mobile siege shield. In the early gameplay meta of the siege warfare game, it was heavily imbalanced, favoring the defense. It was up to the offense to come up with any exploit they could to help even the battlefield, even if it was simple as using a shield themselves. The earliest known depictions of a siege shield comes to us from the Assyrians in the 7th to 9th century BC. We can see in these stone reliefs clearly soldiers using these shields to great effect. That's right, back when other civilizations were still trying to figure out how to plant things and write, the Assyrians were studying the siege. In the early iterations of this weapon, it was one man's job to hold the shield up, the dedicated shield bearer. Let me tell you, that's the job Professor Siege Captain wants in the ancient army. I get to stand behind that mobile shield and just yell encouragements. You get 'em, boys. You climb that ladder. If you need a break, maybe a snack or two, just get behind my shield. It wasn't long before the shield bearer's job was replaced with the ancient equivalent of getting replaced by a robot. These shields could easily have feet placed on them so they could stand up themselves. Each culture had a weapon skin all their own. The Greeks preferred their wicker-style shields, while the Romans would take brushwood and cover them in goat hides. Later in the game, the devs would get greedy and just release chroma variations of these shields. As projectiles got stronger, these shields needed to be made out of better materials, thicker woods, even metal plated. And all they would do is paint the outside of the shield and call that a new skin. Like, how stupid do they think we are? We're not buying it. Coming to us in the early ancient world, these siege shields would have remarkable staying power. Ancient armies would use them, medieval armies would use them. Later versions of the siege shield could be mounted on wheels. They could be greatly widened, angled to have basically roofs, and this would allow many soldiers to get behind them and advance up to the walls. This leads us to Professor Siege Captain's 100% scientific ranking of the siege shield. I'm giving the siege shield a C tier. Why only a C tier, you may ask? Well, it doesn't really do anything other than block arrows. These could easily be countered against by rolling logs, rolling rocks. It doesn't get any lower though because it did provide a little sanctuary for soldiers on the battlefield. Siege of the day.